And good evening, this is Laura coming to you with another short video. And today's video is in response to a question by a subscriber. And the question is, what do you do when family members turn against you? And we know that in situations of gang stalking, um, the possibility of family members turning against you is very high. Number one is because they don't want to receive the same treatment that you're receiving, or they turn against you out of fear. And so, what do you do when family members turn against you? And so, if you're like me, I was raised to never turn your back on family, to never give up on family. But unfortunately, in today's world, it's become the norm. Family turning against family, family going against family, family turning their backs on each other. And so the question is, what do you do when they choose to go to the other side? And my answer to that today is rejoice. And I know you're saying, what? What did she just say? Did she say rejoice? Yes, you heard me correctly. I said rejoice. You rejoice and you do nothing. You let them go. If family members who should know you very well decide to fall in line uh, with those who oppose you, if they decide to believe the propaganda against you, then you do nothing. You let them go. My friend, you have to ask yourself two important questions before you go um, chasing after someone, even if it is a family member. The first question is, what good will it do you to waste your time trying to prove yourself to someone who is determined to misunderstand you? And question number two is, what good will it do you to try to hold on to someone who has made a decision to leave your life, and there's a possibility that they were never meant to be a part of your life anyway? And that's sad to say about family, but sometimes some family members are not meant to be a part of your life, to be a part of your inner circle, to take part in the private matters of your life. And so you have to ask yourself that question. And I know that when it comes to letting a family member go, I know that it hurts. And it hurts when people that you love, when they turn against you, because, you know, we rewind the tapes and we think about, wow, I think about all the times that I sacrificed my time, my resources. I sacrificed myself. I gave my all, my everything, to my family. We broke bread together. We lived in the same household together. We shared secrets. We shared so much. You know, um, I helped them in so many ways, yet they've decided to raise their heel against me. But what can you do about it? As they say, it's no sense in crying over spilled milk. So if someone is bent on leaving your life, then you open the door and you let them walk away. And then you close the door behind them and you don't look back. You let them go. When family members turn against us and they reject us, oh my goodness, it can feel like the rug is being snatched from under you. You never saw this coming. You're totally blindsided by it. And you go through periods of confusion, like you scratch your head. What did I do? What happened? I didn't even see this coming. You feel frustrated. You experience great sadness. That's the worst thing, to have to let go of a family member, because you think about all the good times that you shared, and, you have a history together, but now you have to walk away from all of that. You have to let it go. And it's not really you walking away because they made the choice to walk away. Um, but, it hurts. And we have to be careful because this sadness can turn into anger, and then anger can turn into bitterness. So we have to be careful not to allow ourselves to have a root of bitterness, because the word says that a root of bitterness, when it rises up, it defiles many. So those who are deciding to love and stick by you, they will be defiled by the bitterness that you present to the world. Because a person that's filled with bitterness, they don't have to open their mouths, really. They can walk into a room and you can tell by their demeanor that this person but there's something about this person, they have a root of bitterness. And then, oh my goodness, don't allow them to open their mouths and start talking. All of the negativity and the pessimism that comes out, you start to scratch your head and say, you know what? Oh my goodness, this person is a very bitter person. And so everyone who's around and hears the bitter words that come in contact with this person, they walk away affected by the bitterness. And bitterness and anger, studies show that it can travel through a room. So, a bitter person can walk in a room, or an angry person can walk in a room, and, anger, it travels. It travels through the entire room. So we have to be careful with that, to not allow ourselves to go from feeling sad to anger to bitter. So guard your hearts, my friend. And so we must make sure that, we don't lose heart, because the lesson that we gain from this is that we cannot force anyone to like us, whether it's a family member or whomever. You would never be able to force anyone to like you or anyone to stay in your life. But get this, 99% of the time, if you look back over this relationship with this particular family member, they will have showed you or shown you signs that they're disloyal, or that they could possibly become a disloyal person. And so, how do they show you signs that they could jump ship? Signs of jealousy and envy, signs of, always asking for a favor or asking for you um, to do things, but they never reciprocate when it's in their power. Also, look for signs of them, slights and insensitive jokes, being demanding of your time and your space, and also always finding fault in you. These are all signs of a person that's could possibly be loyal to what you do for them and not loyal to you. And also, my friend, there's a test, a true test that you can run on any relationship that you're in to see where this person stands and if this relationship can stand the test of time. And do you know what that test is? The test is just say no. Whenever they ask you for something or a favor, just say no and watch their reactions very carefully. If they react with anger and react irrational, or react in ways in which they try to force you or make you feel guilty for saying no, well, then this here is a person that has the potential to jump ship on you. At one point in time in my life, I said no to someone, and this person gave me a look that if looks could kill, I wouldn't be speaking with you today. And so eventually the relationship grew cold, and we parted ways, and we have not reconciled since then. But the true test is to just say no. At the beginning of this video, when the question was posed as far as what do you do when family members turn against you, and I stated rejoice. Well, I'm going to state that again. Rejoice when people show you their true colors, when they show you who they really are. And, really rejoice if they show you who they really are in a short period of time. Because nothing hurts worse than to invest a lot of time and energy and patience and not to receive any type of return on investment with this person, to have everything to dwindle and have them to jump ship when it gets complicated or when they feel like it. And so rejoice when they show you their true colors. And there was a song back in the day, I think it's by the OJs, in which it stated that smiling faces tell lies. And that is so true, Because you know what? We can be sleeping with the enemy and not even have a clue. And this doesn't mean, when I say sleeping, it doesn't mean in a sexual way. It can be sexual or non-sexual, but you can be having a relationship with someone, and it can be a member of your own household, and this person could be your enemy. You could be sleeping with the enemy. And like I stated, this includes even members of your own household. So rejoice when people show you their true colors. And my friend, when it comes to rejection, there are two things that you need to ask yourself when you're going through a period of rejection, in which we all, at some point in time in our lives, we experience rejection, whether it's from people in the world or sadly from people inside of our family. But ask yourself these two questions. What is this rejection saying about this person? And what is it saying about me? Think about that for a second. Unfortunately, no matter how you slice or dice rejection, it's never easy. But let's take a look at it from a positive point of view. Rejection can be a way of being redirected to something better and greater, even if it's from family. Sometimes your redirection to something greater can lead you to a friend or someone who will stick closer than a brother. The Bible does tell us that there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And in order for us to move on to the next level of life, we don't need any extra baggage or luggage. We got to drop all the dead weight that causes us to stumble or to come to a standstill. Because sometimes people can be dead weight. Sometimes they can be stumbling blocks in our lives. They can be distractions in our lives. They can cause us to become so focused on trying to gain their acceptance, their approval, their validation, that we lose ourselves in the process. And so we must ask ourselves this question: is it really worth losing ourselves in order to gain the approval of the whole world? And so I've come to this conclusion that I would rather have one real family member or one true friend than to have 50 fake ones. Because you know what? Numbers don't mean loyalty. And I'm going to say that again. Numbers don't mean loyalty. You can have 1,000 people applauding you, propping you up, telling you how great you are, but it doesn't mean that they're loyal to you. It could mean that they're loyal to something that they want from you or something that you are doing for them. T.D. Jakes once said that don't get so puffed up and everything on their applauding of you, their accolades of you, because if you do, you will die when they turn against you. And remember, in the Bible, at one point, they were applauding and praising the Lord our Savior, but then in the next breath, those same people were saying, "Crucify him." And so we have to be careful not to get so stuck on, the need for validation, saying, pick me, notice me, look at me, be friends with me, that we lose ourselves in the process. My friend, my experience with Gangstalking, it has taught me that the world is a very cold place. This is a cold and cruel world. But then also I've learned that because of the cruelty and the coldness of others, I can't allow my heart to turn cold and cruel. And so in order to deal with the rejection of others, especially the rejection of family members, we have to do what the word tells us to do. So what does the word say? Well, the word tells us to not trade a curse for a curse. Although they curse us with the things that they do and the things they say, we're not to trade a curse for a curse, but we are to bless those who persecute us, use us, and curse us. Because you know what? God is fighting our battles. And you have to realize that the enemies you see today, you will see no more. They will dwindle away because God will fight your battles. So bless those who persecute you, use you, reject you. Do not curse. And so I want to thank you for listening. If you enjoy the content of my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, leave a comment.